There's a kind of loneliness that doesn't scream. It doesn't come with tears or music or dramatic collapses. It's quieter than that. It's the kind that settles in your chest like dust, soft, unnoticed, but everywhere. The kind that makes you wonder if you're even real when no one's looking. I think that's how it starts. Not with a breakup, not with a fight, not even with a goodbye. Starts with being remembered less. With fading out of someone's mind like a photograph left in the sun. And I've been fading for a long time. I don't know when it began exactly. Maybe it was the first time I called and you didn't answer. Not because you were busy, not because your phone died, but because you saw my name and just didn't want to talk. Maybe it was the time I showed up early to help you move boxes, and you thanked me like I was the delivery guy. Or the time you laughed at my joke and then turned to someone else mid-sentence, like I'd already disappeared. I used to tell myself it didn't matter, that I was being too sensitive, that everyone gets overlooked sometimes. But the truth is, it wasn't sometimes. It was always. And slowly, I started to believe what your silence was telling me. You don't need me. You don't miss me. You don't even notice when I'm gone. So I read love letters. Not ones written to me, never those, but the ones strangers post online. The kind where someone says, I miss the way you hum in the shower, or I still reach for your hand when I cross the street, or I wrote this letter because I couldn't sleep, you were on my mind again. I read them in the dark, wrapped in a blanket, my phone glowing like a campfire. And I let myself imagine, just for a second, that someone would write that about me. That someone would ache when I wasn't around. That someone would notice if I stopped calling. But I never do. Because I'm the one who calls. I'm the one who remembers your birthday. Who asks how your mom's surgery went. Who shows up with soup when you're sick. Who listens when you talk about your job, your dreams, your ex. Even when I'm hurting too, even when I need someone to listen back. And you let me. You take it all, my time, my energy, my care. And you never seem to wonder where it comes from. You don't ask how I'm doing unless I bring it up. You don't check in. You don't text first. You don't say, hey, I was thinking about you. You only reach out when you need something. And I keep answering. Because part of me still hopes, stupidly, desperately, that one day you'll call just to hear my voice. That you'll say, I missed you, instead of, can you help me with this? That you'll invite me somewhere and actually mean it. Not because you need a +1, not because someone canceled, but because you want me there. But you never do. And the worst part. I've started to believe I don't deserve it. I scroll through those subreddits, r/love letters, r/unsent, r/relationship advice, and I read about people who are seen, who are chosen, who are wanted, and I feel happy for them, truly. But underneath that happiness, there's a quiet ache, a voice that whispers, that will never be you. Because I'm not the type of person people write love letters about. I'm not the type of person who gets missed. I'm the type of person who gets used. And I let them. I've spent so long trying to be useful, trying to be reliable, trying to be the one person you can count on, that I forgot how to be wanted. I forgot what it feels like to be chosen just for existing, not for what I can do. I've built my whole identity around being the helper. The listener. The one who shows up. The one who doesn't make demands. The one who doesn't bring drama. The one who's easy to be around. And it works for a while. You keep me around because I'm convenient. Because I don't ask for much. Because I don't make you uncomfortable. Because I give advice without judgment. Laugh at your jokes, and leave before I overstay. But convenience isn't love. Reliability isn't affection. And just because I never make you feel bad doesn't mean you'll ever feel good about me. I used to think if I just kept showing up, kept being kind, kept being there, you'd eventually see me. That one day you'd look up and say, "Wait, where have you been all my life?" That you'd realize I wasn't just a background character in your story, but someone who's been loving you in silence this whole time. But you never do. And the more I give, the more invisible I become. It's like I'm slowly disappearing. Not all at once, but piece by piece. My name on your contacts, but never on your mind. My number in your phone, but never on your lips. My face in your memories, but only as a blur in the background. I've started to wonder, if I stopped calling, would you even notice? Would you wonder where I went? Would you try to reach out? Or would you just move on like I was never there at all? I already know the answer. And that's what hurts the most. Not that you forgot me, but that you could. That I wasn't loud enough, bright enough, important enough to stick. I've tried to fix it. I've tried being funnier, more interesting, more spontaneous. I've tried sharing more about myself, hoping you'd finally see me, not just what I can do for you. But every time I open up, you change the subject. Every time I say, "I've been struggling," you say, "You're so strong you'll get through it," and then talk about your weekend plans. You don't want my pain. You want my strength. You don't want my truth. You want my support. And I keep giving it because I'm afraid that if I stop, you'll forget me even faster. But here's the thing. I'm already forgotten. You don't remember my favorite song. You don't know my favorite color. You don't remember what I told you about my childhood, or my fears, or my dreams. You don't remember the time I canceled plans with someone else just to be there for you. You don't remember because it doesn't matter to you. And I'm starting to realize, it never will. I read those love letters and I imagine a version of you who would care, who would write to me, who would say, "I miss you," not because I did something for you, but because my absence leaves a hole in your day, who would call just to hear my voice, who would plan a trip and say, "I want you there." But that version of you doesn't exist. And maybe that's not your fault. Maybe you're not capable of that kind of love. Maybe you don't know how to see people that way. Maybe you've never been seen that way yourself. But it's still my fault for staying, for hoping, for waiting, for believing that if I just keep showing up, one day you'll finally see me. But love isn't earned through service. You can't work hard enough to be loved. You can't be useful enough to be missed. And no matter how many times I show up for you, it won't make you stay. It won't make you remember. It won't make you choose me. So I'm starting to wonder, what if I stopped? What if I didn't answer the next time you call? What if I didn't show up when you need help? What if I just disappeared? Would you finally notice me then? Or would you just find someone else to fill the space? I don't want to be replaced. I want to be missed. But I think I've been asking the wrong question all along. It's not, "Why don't you remember me?" It's, "Why am I begging to be remembered by someone who never saw me in the first place?" Because I am worth remembering. I'm not just a helper. I'm not just a listener. I'm not just a good hang. I'm a person with dreams, with pain, with love to give. I'm someone who deserves to be wanted, not just needed. And maybe, just maybe, the only way to be remembered is to stop making myself forgettable. To stop shrinking. To stop serving. To stop pretending I'm okay with being an afterthought. Because if I don't start remembering myself, no one else ever will. So I'm letting go. Not with anger. Not with drama. Not with a grand gesture. just with quiet resolve. I won't answer every call. I won't show up for every favor. I won't carry your burdens while mine go unnoticed. I'll still be kind. I'll still be me. But I'll also be here. Present, not just available. Alive, not just useful. And if you forget me, that's okay. Because I won't.